Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this pretty cool 2021 Toyota Corolla Hatchback SE. And before we get started, I would like to say a huge thank you to Midstate Toyota in Asheboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this Hatchback SE. I'll be sure to leave all of Midstate Toyota's contact information, including their website, in the description box below. And in this video, we're going to take an intimate look at the Corolla Hatchback SE. This thing is actually really sweet. Wait till you see the interior color. I love the interior. And speaking of color, what do you think of this blue flame color on the exterior? I love the two-tone. See the roof there? Black roof, blue body. I love the alloy wheels. I'm really excited about the lights. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but I really love the way Toyota has designed the lights on this thing and how the rear of it looks almost as aerodynamic as the front of it. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to end up in the driver's seat where I'm going to show you how all the features work from the driver's perspective. So we're going to cover all the buttons and everything. So let's jump right in. Look how in the front this looks like all one piece. You can see there's a sharp corner here, and then it kind of dips down and back up. But then look, it goes all the way across the front, incorporates the Toyota emblem there in the front grille, and then continues all the way around to the other side. You can see I cut on the hazards just so that you could have perspective on what the turn signals look like once they're blinking. But there's your front light there. Cool design here. So it's coming down, then it kind of drops down. That's a pretty sweet thing. And then I like this area here where you've got a thing here, and then here. Of course that matches on the other side as well. That's a nice look. So coming around the back here, it looks like an LED light strip that comes all the way around and wraps around to the very bottom of that. Very cool how Toyota has incorporated all of that in together in the rear housing structure of that light. I like also how it looks like you have exhaust tips right here, but those are not real tips. Those are basically ornamental because your tailpipe is actually right there. And it's a single tailpipe, no need for dual exhaust on this. And now let's take a look at the heart of the beast. You're gonna locate the Toyota emblem and go straight up from there. Reach under the hood, and there's gonna be a little lever right there. God, this hood is actually pretty heavy. Nice, feels like it's quality. There's the arm. The arm is going to hook into that hole where that arrow is. So this is a 4-cylinder engine, produces 169 horsepower, 151 pound-foot of torque. There's your battery. You can see the little reservoir back there with that golden looking fluid. That's your brake fluid. Relay and fuses, airbox, engine oil fill. It uses 0W16 oil, washer fluid, coolant, more fuses, belt, bolt. And that's about all I'm gonna say about the engine. It's a good engine. It's a Toyota, come on. And here's the key for the Corolla. You can see the Corolla emblem on one side, lock, unlock, and panic alarm on the other side. You also have a little portion here there's like a little lever, and you can pull that lever up, and there is a regular physical key that's going to be embedded into the key itself right there. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. But to unlock the doors, to unlock the driver's door, you press unlock once. To unlock all 4 doors, press it twice. That also unlocks the hatch, gives you access to the hatch. But I'm going to lock it again. If you want to just get into the vehicle, you don't have to mess with this at all. All you need to do is put this in your pocket or purse, and then you approach the vehicle, and since it has smart key, you can just grab the door handle. It unlocks automatically. Now, I told you that there was a physical key in the key fob itself. That's where you're going to put that physical key in the event that the battery dies. You can see that right there. Then, if I'm finished using the Corolla, I arrive at my destination. You can see that there are little lines on the front side of that door handle. All you need to do is touch that, and the door's locked. Now watch this little feature here. This is so cool. You know it's got smart key, and so the doors are gonna automatically unlock if the key is on your person. All the doors are locked. Let's say I've got 3 other people that are riding with me and I wanna unlock all 4 doors. I can do that by just grabbing the door handle and holding it. and all the doors just unlock. So grab it, hold it, and it'll unlock all 4 doors. Now looking at the back, you can see that there's like a, I don't know if you can see into the window or not, but there's like a privacy cover. So if you were actually here, you would see that there's a cover to where you cannot actually see down into the Corolla hatch itself. Let me show you how that works. That's the cover that I was talking about. You see that? And then that's connected to a couple of strings. You can simply take this, undo that part there, undo the right side, and then that loosens that up and it will actually pop right out. You can see that there's a little portion here that it's connected to the body. So you can remove that if you want to. I'm just gonna leave it there. But that you can remove. Then you can see that there is a little orange piece. It's like an orange heavy duty string, like a strap. And the reason that's there is for this area right here. So you can take this and push hook. It'll bring that up. And then you simply hook this portion onto there, and it allows you to have access into the back without having to hold that panel up the whole time. There's your spare tire equipment. And then you can see that there's a line right here, 3 child safety tethers, so you can put up to 3 child safety seats in the back of the Corolla. And the reason I pointed out that line is to demonstrate the fact that it's a 60-40 split rear seat. There's a panel here, or a little switch here. You can grab that, fold the seat down. Then here's our other part. Fold that forward. And now you can see I have a really good storage area in the back of the Corolla. Super nice. And look at that, how flat those seats fold. They're completely flat. So it just makes a floor for carrying bigger items. Nice design. And so earlier I was telling you that this is for a child safety seat. You can see it says top tether. So what you'll do is you'll just take the strap in your child safety seat, run it through this here, down into here, and then there's a split in the material there, and you can hook your child safety seat hook into the back of that right there, and then also into the point right here. And so you'll hook it right there and right there, and then your child safety seat will be fully anchored into the Corolla. There's not gonna be as much rear room in the Corolla because it's a Corolla, it's a small vehicle. Although it is a hatchback still, it's gonna be limited in the back seat room. But one of the things I wanted to point out is this two-tone coloring style that Toyota has done on this back seat, and I really like it. It makes it look sporty, and it's got kind of a pattern here, and the material feels really rugged. It feels like it's gonna last for a long time, but it looks nice. It's got a kind of a cool sporty feel. Not much in the way of features in the back seat, but most back seats don't have many features. Most of them feature simply cup holders and 3 seat belts and power windows, and you know what? This checks all those boxes. Power windows there, nice piano black trim here. That's kind of fancy looking. Little stitching right there, contrasted to the black. I like it. Now opening the driver's door, you can see the top of it is white. The bottom of the door is black. I like the contrast there. You can see that contrast also extends out over to the dash and onto the seats. So it's contrasting that matches throughout the entire cabin. What a cool thing. And of course the front seats match the back seats in their durability. And this front seat is actually super comfortable. The back seats might be a little bit tight in close quarters, but these front seats are really, really nice. I love the bolstering there, nice and thick. You can also see that you've got side airbags right there on the outer portion. They're integrated into the outer portions of the front seats. And of course you got side airbags in the rear as well. Airbags are just all over the place. Now my first impression here is that this front seat is really, really comfortable. It helps that this portion is that it's actually kind of a gray. It's not a white, it's like a gray, light gray. But that actually helps with the roominess inside. It makes it feel bigger. This one does not have a sunroof, so you don't have that working for you, but I actually think, as silly as it might sound, that this whole portion here that is the gray makes it feel a little bit more roomy. In order to start the Corolla, all I have to do is have the key on my person, foot on the brake, and then touch the start button there, and it fires right up. I like the big screen that you have. This is a fixed screen, so it's actually going to stay there, but it's not in the way. You can see how, from my perspective right now, it's actually below my field of vision. And so it's totally not in the way at all. If you've watched any of my other Toyota videos, you know how the steering wheel controls work. We will go over those though. You can see on the left side there's a multi-directional keypad and with the OK button in the middle. Phone, back arrow, audio controls plus your voice. And then over on the right side you've got a ton of safety features plus cruise control. And then you've got more radio buttons on the bottom portion. I like how the radio buttons are all along the bottom portions of the controls on the left and on the right side of the steering wheel. Steering wheel is stitched. It's nice and fat, fits in your hands really, really well. Brushed aluminum look here, nice and fancy. That's a good look. The dash, the thing I noticed about the dash when I first got in is that it's simple. I like how clean it is. Speedometer right up front. There's no guessing what it is. You have your fuel gauge, and then over on the left side, you have temperature, your tach, and then over on the right side, a multi-information display. We're gonna go over all that, but it's nice and clean. I like how simple it is. You also have paddle shifters. That's pretty cool. You can see you can downshift over here on the left. That's what the negative button is. And then over on the right side, you upshift. So that's what the positive or the plus sign is. This does have a continuous variable transmission. So when you're driving, I'm gonna put it at, my foot's on the brake, and you see park, there's a button here on the front. You depress the button, then you pull it into drive. So right now we're just in regular drive. So at any speed, I can flip this over, and then I can go into what's called sequential shifting. You can see that there's a plus and minus, and that plus and minus allows me to upshift toward the front of the vehicle, downshift toward the rear of the vehicle. I do not have to push this button or anything. I can just do it automatically. Or I can use my paddle shifters. You see that? I can upshift on the right side, or I can downshift on the left side with my paddle shifters. That gives it a little bit more of a sporty feel, even though it's a continuous variable transmission, so it's not actually changing gears, but it does give you a little bit of a movement in the transmission, as it were, to give you that feel of it. It's kind of a simulated gear changing. It's pretty neat. To the left, you're going to see my turn signal stalk, and this is also going to be my headlights. So I can see here it says DRL off. This has daytime running lights. That's those beautiful lights that are up front and right there. That's DRL off. So that's all of the lights off on the front of the vehicle. This is auto, so that means the headlights will cut on automatically at night. Parking lights, all lights on manually. I recommend leaving them in auto, and that way they cut on automatically as the sun is going down, and that's a nice feature. Another feature that is connected with the headlights right here, and I recommend just doing this all the time. So put this in auto, push this stalk forward so it clicks. You can see the click there. Lock that forward, and then right there there is an A, and it looks like a headlight. Push that in, make sure that green button is lit up. That is automatic high beams. Automatic high beams is a really cool feature, AHB. I recommend using it all the time. The way automatic high beams works is there is actually a camera that's mounted on the other side of your rear view mirror, and it's facing out so that it can see down the road. And it's designed to sense when preceding vehicles are either coming toward you or are in front of you, all ones that are in front of the vehicle. It can sense headlights and it can sense tail lights. When it senses any lights from another vehicle, whether coming or going away from you, it's going to dim the lights, and it's going to toggle between high beam and low beam automatically so that it does not blind the people that are coming toward you. But it gives you the advantage of using the full spectrum of the power of your headlights on high beam whenever there are no cars around. A lot of people only use high beams whenever they're like in the country or they're by themselves in a rural area. This is designed so that you can maximize the potential of your headlights at all times, even if you're in the city, so that you can fully see everything around you. It's a great feature. I recommend using it all the time. Now moving over to the right side, you can see we have our wiper stalk, and you can see here it says mist, off, intermittent, low, and high. That's going to be the speeds at which your windshield wipers are going to wipe. So what I can do is I can push it up once and it will mist, and they just wiped one time. That's obviously if it's misting, but the default is off, so it's going to automatically click down to off. Then you have intermittent, low, and high. That's intermittent. This controls the speed of the intermittent function, then low, then high. off. This is for the rear wiper. And then in order to wash the windshield off, you can pull this whole stalk toward you. To do the rear of the vehicle, you can just push it away from you. Now let's take a look at this multi-directional keypad with OK in the middle. So up, down, left, right, and OK. We're also going to be using the back button in this demonstration, and we're going to be looking at all of this screen right here, the multi-information display, and that includes some really cool safety features. Now in this display, you can see there's a little bitty leaf. I'm going to go left and right. So there's that leaf. You see that's lit up. Then there's a car. There's another car. There's a settings wheel. And then there is an emergency, like an exclamation point. So that's me toggling left and right. Those are all the different categories that are in this multi-information display. Going to the first one, there's the leaf. And then you can see that there are little dots right there, little bubbles. So I'm on the bottom screen right now. I'm pushing up right now. So that's the very first screen. And it says kilometers per hour. We don't want kilometers, we want miles per hour, but that's okay. That you can see, obviously, that's going to be a digital speed readout. You can also see in the top of the screen, there are two lines. We're going to go over that in just a second. Then there's your outside temperature gauge and your clock. Then you also have distance to empty. And in the very bottom left, park, that's the gear we're in, and then odometer, we have 14 miles on the vehicle. I'm gonna go down, and now here's our kind of our eco settings, our eco readings as far as fuel economy is concerned, distance to empty, total average miles. Since this says kilometers, we're not in kilometers, we don't want that, but that's okay. We just need to reset that. And then at the very bottom, eco indicator, it allows you to pick which eco or which indicator is present there. So that's a really cool way to see your digital displays as far as your speedometer or kilometers per hour or your real-time fuel economy. Then this right here is going to be your radar cruise control. If I were driving on the highway, this is the screen that I would put this in all the time on the highway. And I'm going to show you how to work this. This is going to have to do with the right side of the steering wheel with cruise control right there. Okay, so you can see this icon on the right side of this ring. I press that, and then this screen appears. Radar cruise active. Please pay attention to other vehicles. At that point, I can press this, and it will actually activate the cruise control. That's like basically starting the cruise control, right? So the vehicle, you know how cruise control works. It regulates the speed. Well, this is going to regulate the speed based on a radar that is mounted behind the Toyota emblem on the front of the vehicle, and it's going to look for other vehicles in the front or in front of you. Okay, I can press this and I see 3 blue blocks that are in that icon. There's 2, then there's 1. I'm pressing that button. This is the greatest distance that the vehicle is going to maintain between me and the vehicle in front of me. That's radar cruise control. And then I can press it, and that's the next to the greatest distance, and that's the least amount of distance. These things are hard to explain. Give me a break here. But this is actually kind of my default. I don't like there to be a gigantic space between me and the vehicle in front of me. This may be your default, but it just kind of depends on what your level of comfort is, because when let's say you're driving 65, 70 miles an hour, and if that is the distance that you're telling the Corolla to keep between you and the vehicle in front of you, that's a pretty big distance. And you'll see once you drive the vehicle for yourself what that's like, but I really recommend using radar cruise control. So that's what that is. A great feature. And then I have trip distance, total time that the car has been running. So that's your single trip information. Now this screen is going to be safety features. LTA is lane trace assist. PCS is pre-collision system. RSA is going to be road sign assist. And then I've got vehicle settings. So LTA, lane tracing assist. When your radar cruise control, or technically dynamic radar cruise control, is enabled, the vehicle can actually see lane markers, and it's going to use those lane markers that it can see via a camera, and also uses the preceding vehicles that are around you and the lines on the road, and it's going to use all of those things to help you stay centered in your lane. PCS, pre-collision system. Pre-collision system with pedestrian detection. It's actually going to help you, and I say this always carefully, mitigate or avoid an impact with a vehicle or pedestrian in certain situations. It uses the camera, the radar, pre-collision system, and pedestrian detection, and it provides audio and visual alerts. So it's going to beep and then it's going to flash on the screen if you don't react, and the system is designed to automatically brake. So if it senses another vehicle, if it senses a pedestrian in certain situations, and it senses that you're not reacting or braking appropriately in order to not, come into contact with that, then it's going to beep and brake if necessary. Pre-collision system, that's a great safety feature. RSA is road sign assist. So this feature uses a camera up front. Man, that camera is used for a lot of things. Road sign assist is designed to detect speed limit signs, stop signs, do not enter signs, and yield signs. It's also going to take the sign shape and color and what's on the sign and everything based on the list I just told you, and it's going to actually translate it and display that sign on this area right here on the multi-information display. How cool is that? So that if it sees it and you happen to not see it, you'll know that in that area there's a stop sign maybe coming up, or a do not enter sign, or a yield sign. That is so cool. Road sign assist. And then vehicle settings, on this I'm going to press the OK button. By the way, on any of these, in order to see inside of those features, you can just go to the feature itself, highlight it, and press the OK button in the middle, and I just cut that off. I like for the pre-collision system to be on, so I just cut it on. And then I can come down here to vehicle settings, and in order to get into vehicle settings, you press OK and hold it. Tire pressure warning system, and then scheduled maintenance. So that's in the settings screen, and then I have no messages. So that's your kind of a detailed look into your multi-information display. Pretty cool features. Starting off with the home screen, you can see it's divided up into 3 sections: audio, phone, and then fuel economy information. Now this is a live screen, so you can actually touch each section and it will expand to that selection for the whole screen. One of the nice things about audio is that I can hit reorder. So what I want to do is actually reorder this section based on what I listen to the most. Press reorder, and then at that point I can select one of these selections and drag it over. So let's say I like Bluetooth, it highlights it, then I'll drag it over and then drop it. So then I can rearrange it. Let's say I like XM radio or satellite. Boom. So that is super easy. Then I can hit OK, and now that selection is based on how much I listen to which source. I can go back to home, and then I can hit that and expand it. So then I can, do whatever I want to do in that area. Then I can press menu, and this has a bunch of different things. One of the things that I really recommend is spending some time in setup, and this is where you're actually going to set up and to customize the vehicle according to the way you want it to work and what is most efficient and user-friendly for you. Take a look at that detailed video in the description box below for more information on this. Then I can go to audio. That's the same thing that you just saw before. And then there's map. I can have a navigation app installed. You need to see your Toyota website for that, all that information. Or call your salesperson and they can help you out. Salespeople all over the world love me for saying that. And then you can see seek and track. That's going to be audio related, phone, apps, and then download an Intune app suite. That's where you're going to connect it with your phone and all that stuff. I'll leave it to your local dealership or your Toyota expert at your local dealership to walk you through those features. Power and volume. So this screen is really nice because one of the things that I like about it is you can see that it's like a matte finish here, so it doesn't show fingerprints. Also notice that it's not beeping whenever I press any of the buttons, and the reason for that is because I cut the beep off. I went to setup and then beep, and I cut it off. You can see now that it's beeping. So that is one of the things that I did. Pretty cool. Now moving on down from that beautiful screen, there's your hazard lights, and there's the little, that's what that does. I love that little clicky sound. That's your hazards. And then right here is all of your climate system settings. It does not have dual zone climate control, so you just one side controls everything, but that's not a big deal. You can see where it says auto. If you put it in auto, it's going to automatically set the cabin temperature. So let's just say I wanted it to be at 67 degrees. I press auto, and that's going to maintain the cabin temperature at 67 degrees. You can see it's upping the fan speed right now. That makes it work like the central air in your house. So I turn it up, and it lowers the fan speed because I'm close to 73 degrees right now. And then here are all of your buttons to control everything off: front defrost, rear and side mirror defrost, so the side mirrors are heated. That's nice. That controls your fan speed. Eco heat and cool, that actually helps the climate system work more economically to ultimately to try to help you save on fuel. Recirculate and fresh air, and then AC is all right there. Manually control the fan speed right there. Nice. I like the stitching on the dash too. Gives it a nice little touch. Moving on down, you've got a little storage pocket right here. That's a perfect place to put your cell phone, and that's actually a pretty substantial size right there. You also have Sport, and Sport is going to change the shifting pattern of the transmission just to give it a little bit more pep whenever you take off. And then your traction control off button is here. You also have an automatic parking brake, so anytime that you put the vehicle in park, it is going to put on the parking brake for you. So there's no more brake like down here on the left side, or there's no e-brake that you pull up here. That takes that place, and it does it automatically when you put it in park. And then there's a feature here called brake hold, and that is going to hold the brake. So let's just say it's in drive. You stop at a stoplight, and whenever this feature is active, it's actually going to hold the brake for you at a stoplight. So you can literally take your foot off the brake once you come to a complete stop and the feature is active. And then when let's say the light turns green, you can just tap the gas and go. And that is brake hold. A couple of cup holders here. And then you have a little storage area here, and then there's a cell phone charger, so you can plug your lightning cable for if you have an iPhone, or Android cable if you have an Android device. And then you have a manual or a lighter charging adapter, oops, right there. Nice little stitching here. This is soft touch, so it works perfectly for me to put my arm there and be able to reach the shifter and everything. Map lights and SOS, so that's part of your safety system. And then this allows you to cut on your light here, door, all the lights in the vehicle, right side, and then your safety system. This is going to basically call safety for you. Like if you have a breakdown or something happens, you can hit that button, pull down the cover and hit the button, and it'll automatically connect to a safety system operator, and it's kind of like 911 for your vehicle. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for our look at the 2021 Corolla Hatchback SE. Cool little vehicle. I really like it. I especially like the color combination. Black on top, blue on the bottom. Nice and feisty. Again, I would love to say a huge thank you to Midstate Toyota in Asheboro, North Carolina, for the opportunity to film this beautiful Corolla hatchback. I'll be sure, as I mentioned before, to leave all of Midstate Toyota's contact information, including their website, in the description box below. But remember, the most important thing of all, have a wonderful day, everybody.